Just a comment about alpha or alpha. The alpha level is the risk that we're willing to take when we perform a hypothesis test. We state the null hypothesis. We have interest in a research hypothesis, and normally what we're really wanting to find is that the research hypothesis is correct. In that case, we would be rejecting the null hypothesis and accepting the research hypothesis. But we want to be prudent, and we don't want to start believing things that really don't have a good basis. So we set our alpha very low to minimize our risk that we'll reject the null and accept the alternate incorrectly only a very small percentage of the time. So what we do is we look at the distribution of our test statistic when we know that the null hypothesis is true, that there is no difference between groups or no effect from some treatment. And we go out and find that value of the test statistic that occurs alpha percentage of the time. Usually 5%. Usually our alpha is 5%. We could use an alpha of 1% if we were very unwilling to risk a type 1 error, or we could make our alpha 10% if we were more willing to make a type 1 error. And there are various situations in which we are more willing to make a type 1 error than not. If we're going to say that, for instance, one teaching method is better than another, and we go out and spend $5 million to buy new books and curriculum methods, we don't want to reject the null hypothesis that teaching method A and teaching method B are just the same, unless we're very sure that they're different. So we'll set our alpha very low there. If we're deciding to research some area of interest, we might do a cheap little pilot study to see if there's some differences between treatments or methods or between groups. And then we might make our alpha a little bit higher, usually 10%. So alpha is just the probability of making a type 1 error. It reflects our risk of being incorrect in accepting the null hypothesis. And it is a matter of convention for what it is set at, not a matter of strict science.